Hey guys, welcome back to Prepping in Progress. So, about a year ago, TJ over at Bear Independent put up a video, and a throwaway line he said was that deer corn was basically the trash of all the corns available. Got me thinking. Now, I say a year ago, that's when it was posted. I watched it last week because I'm behind in my YouTube watching. I'm also behind in my YouTube posting, apparently. So, apologies again for that. But we're going to get into deer corn, and then we're going to unbox a grinder and give it a try today. So, stay with me. So what is deer corn, first of all? Deer corn is basically shelled corn that farmers will use as what they call feeder corn. The biggest differences is that you're going to pay generally 50% more per pound with a little deer done on the bag. A cheaper way to get deer corn or shelled corn, let's just go with that, is to either get feed corn at your store or go over to your local farmer who grows corn and go, hey, can I buy some shelled corn from you? And he'll generally open up his silo and get you what you need, much, much cheaper than what you're going to get at the local feed store. Now, our local feed stores are small family-owned companies, so generally we try to do business with them. Now, what are the pros and cons? Generally, it's a high starch, low fiber, and I believe low protein corn. So what you're looking at is it's not something that's going to be a staple in your diet unless it's added to your beans and rice. It's a high carb, so right then and there you do have some energy coming in. I love you guys. I believe in stacking the beans and rice to the rafters. They last forever, but a dried corn for me is something else that I'm going to add to my preps, especially with the way that inflation is going. So, you've gone to the feed store, you've bought your 50-pound bag of corn. Now, discussing for a minute how it is low protein, low fiber. Deer eating a strict diet of feed corn will actually be smaller and not as well developed, and the meat won't be as good. This is the same for you. I believe, 4 or 5 years ago, if I remember correctly, a Native American decided he wanted to go up into the wilderness of Maine, I believe, or was it the Canadian Northeast? Anyway, he wanted to live as his people did. He wanted to trap, he wanted to hunt, he wanted to forage and live off of those three things for a month. 30 days later, he came out of the woods, starving to death. He ate well. He had rabbit every day. He even had deer. The problem was he was getting lean meats, lean vegetables, and he wasn't able to maintain bulk. That's why I say this is not going to be the staple end-all of your diet. You're going to lose poundage no matter what as times get tougher, but this will add a taste to your diet. Okay? So, we have our dried corn here, and if you look at my hand, you can see it's kind of dirty. I just stick it in and it's dirty, it's dusty. Yeah. So what we're going to do first is we're going to put it in. I've got my handy dandy colander right here in the sink. We're going to wash it. You can see the dust kind of billowing up. We're going to make some noise, have some fun, get our hands wet. Now I've added water to the mix, which means mold can develop, right guys? And once again, I'm going to be grinding this down into cornmeal, corn flour, gritty, ready to make cornmeal mush food. Now keeping in mind that farmers do sell and develop corn that has twice the protein, twice the fiber of what we're getting. We're talking cheap here. We're talking, this is for your preps. We're talking prepping on a budget. So I'm taking this cookie sheet and I'm going to spread it out. Now you got a couple of ways to dry this. Those of you with solar ovens, go ahead and drop it in your solar oven for a while. I am going to take this and put it in the gas oven and just let the pilot light warm it up, move it out, and get rid of the moisture while I run some errands and work around the homestead. So, through the magic of YouTube and clipping and whatnot, we're going to put this in the oven and then we're going to come right back at you. Talk to you soon. And through the magic of video editing, we're going to continue in a different location. So in the last part of this video, we talked about the semi-nutritional benefits of feed corn. Now today we have our corn. It is dried out. Still a little dusty, but not near as bad as what it was. And we're going to turn it into meal. This is semi an unboxing video. This thing has been traveling with me since the move from Southwest Arkansas to Northwest Arkansas 3 years ago. This is the Farm Market Corn Grinding Mill. It is available apparently at greatnorthernpopcorn.com if you're interested after the video. I've never actually taken it out and used it for any length of time, or I've glanced in the box. So let's find out if everything's here and work on setting it up real quick. Well, nothing fell out the bottom. So we have our grinding piece. That's going to go through there like so. Nope. And then this is going to attach like so. Maybe. Might have to loosen the bolt a bit. I've used similar grinders in the past. This one is new to me. There are directions on the back of the box. I'm just going to take a peek. Simple grinder. Okay. So what we're going to do, we've slid the other half of the grinder inside. We have attached now. That whole righty-tighty, lefty-loosey thing would be good to remember as we bring this piece down. And then we've got the adjusting screw on the back. Which will push the grinder closer together. This is supposed to slide up here to act as a buffer against the wood on your table. But we'll just hold off on that for a bit. We're going to put this here, like so. Trying not to make a mess on the table. We have our handy dandy handle for turning the grinder, and I may have taken it too tight. There we go, it'll turn. This screw comes in the back to hold it in place. So it looks like all the parts are here. That's a good thing. And then we have a hopper. There we go. Now, this is interesting. The hopper does not want to fit, but there we go, that'll work. So, we've been talking about the use of corn. This particular mill with the auger and everything will work on grain, coffee, nuts, herb seeds, poppies, dried pepper. You can grind it all up in here for your uses. So I'm looking at it going, this thing is also manual. So in a grid down situation, be it an electrical storm or the end of the world as we know it, EMP, whatever, this will still work, obviously. You want your coffee in the morning, you don't have any more of your Folgers containers, but you manage to get beans. You manage to hold on to beans for some way, kept them from going rancid. Yes, coffee does go rancid after a while. You throw it in here and you grind it up. We're going to get into that in just a minute. So we're going to load our hopper. And what's going to be interesting is I'm going to actually switch containers for the coffee, or for the coffee, the corn, because it's still not going to fit. So, but hey, like we've always said on this channel, we'll show you our mistakes as well as our successes. And I'm making a mess. I'll be taking a vacuum cleaner to the carpet afterwards. Now we're going to fill the hopper about, just to right about here. We've actually got corn all the way down into here, maybe a little bit more. Oh, let's go right up here. There we go. So what we're going to do is pick a hole out and give it a few twists. And as you can see, or cannot see, we are slowly grinding the corn. And some's coming out much, much thicker, and some's coming out as a fine powder. I'll let you take a good look at this as it's coming out. Now we're going to be able to run this through multiple times. And we're making a huge mess, guys. Put that in there. Keep going. When Miss K comes in and sees what we've done here, she's not going to be amused. So we'll have to clean it up before she gets
You made me sound mean.
done cleaning. She just said, don't make me sound mean. She's not mean at all. She is the most amazing woman I've ever known. Patient, kind, long-suffering. You'd have to be to do this, to be willing to live off-grid, build a cabin together. Which, by the way, the upstairs is almost done. We are waiting for a nice warm day this winter, and we're going to drill the hole in the roof, put in the little heat box underneath it, and once that's done, in goes the chimney. Once the chimney's done, we can finish drywalling the ceiling, go to mudding, and the upstairs will be able to move in. Now the downstairs, she has switched the idea, which I actually agree with quite thoroughly. She's moved the toilet from the back corner to under the stairs. So we're going to have to do a little more plumbing on that. She wants to move the shower where I was going to have the toilet. And then we have to run our water lines, our electrical line to the building. We're going to finish up at least the interior of the water lines first. Then drywall. But it's actually starting to look at least something like a house. Now, ladies, if your husband decides to do this, I highly suggest you tell him, don't try to use the top of the coffee can. Actually get a height appropriate bowl to let it fall into. Yeah, I'm feeling a little guilty as I watch the corn go on the floor and on the ottoman and the couch. And I'm pretty sure NWA Prepper is out there laughing at me going, I can't believe he's doing that. What you guys really should know is we vacuumed right before this, so I'm undoing all the work we put into the living room. But you know what? Life is good, because while you're still in the process of cleaning, you can go back and fix what you've done. And since I did it, I'll be fixing it. Now the video's gone on for about 13 minutes, or at least this part of it has. And that's including the talk time as we set up. And our corn is now out of the hopper and actually in the, except for a couple of grains. Let's see if we can do this. It's all right here by now. So as we're going, we'll let you see how it goes down into the auger. And it's slowly working its way down. And I'm really making a mess. Now once again, this is just dried feed corn. It is not specially designed to be more nutritious than some. The corn you get in the cans and whatnot is given special fertilizers and some special chemicals to make it more nutritious to the human body. And you can talk to Monsanto and GMOs and all that neat stuff if you want to play that game and go that route. And yes, I'm just letting it spill over now. So now we have ground up corn. We can use it for cornmeal mush. You probably do cornbread even now, or add some flour to it. It's going to be crunchy and whatnot. It's not going to be your smooth Jiffy Bake that you buy at the store. Sorry guys. We're talking pioneer days here. If you were doing coffee beans, yeah, it's going to be a little more than you're used to. But here's the thing. You can turn around and put it back through the mill again. You can tighten up the screw a bit so that your grinder is a little more fine. And you can repeat as many times as you want to get what you want out of this. So in about 10 minutes, 15 minutes of, well, 16 minutes of video, probably 10 to 12 minutes, maybe 14 of grinding, we have filled up this container about halfway with cornmeal, for lack of a better term. Ground up corn. I would consider taking a sieve and getting rid of some of the big pieces. But then again, the shell does provide nutrients. And as we have said, feed corn is not as nutrient as food corn. And we've got a flour base as well. So, or a dust base. I'm going to use it as flour. So, the farm market corn grinding mill. It seems to work quite well. We now have some ground up corn that we can use in the kitchen. We did not use any electricity in the grinding. The corn itself, after being washed, let's go over. The water for the location on the mountain is gravity fed spring. So, no electricity there. The oven that we used to warm and dry the corn after we had washed it was gas powered, and we have tanks on the property. No electricity. We then set it outside for a bit in the sun once it warmed up and let it finish drying. At one point I had it on a tray on top of the wood stove. We got rid of all of the moisture. No electricity. We brought it over here and we ground it without electricity. This is an off-grid project that you can do to add fiber and substance to your recipes. We may throw it in the chili later, or throw some for body in a soup. So here's some thoughts for you. I hope you've had fun, and we'll see you next time.